Ali and Ramshah had been married for 6 years. They had a 4-year-old son. Ali worked in a multinational company, while Ramshah was a homemaker. From the outside, their life seemed happy and peaceful, but the reality was quite different. In the early days of their marriage, Ali was a loving and caring husband. But as time went on, he started to change. Coming home late, being constantly busy on his phone, and distancing himself from Ramshah became routine. Ramshah repeatedly asked Ali what was wrong, why he had changed. But each time, he made an excuse: work pressure, too many meetings, I'm just tired. One day, Ramshah found a hotel receipt in Ali's pocket. The check-in time was 3 a.m. When she asked about it, Ali snatched the receipt in anger and said, "I was with friends. Why do you always doubt me?" Ramshah's heart grew restless. She began to check Ali's phone, but he now kept it with him all the time. His attitude was becoming colder by the day. Desperate and heartbroken, Ramshah turned to her friend Sana, who worked for a private detective agency. Sana promised to help her. A few days later, Sana showed her photos and videos, Ali with another woman at a restaurant, in a park, and finally entering an apartment. That woman was none other than Zara, Ali's colleague from the office. Ramshah's world collapsed. She confronted Ali, but instead of admitting his mistake, he blamed her. "If you understood me, I wouldn't have needed to find peace elsewhere," he said coldly. That night, Ali packed his bags and left, without even thinking about his son. Ramshah was shattered, but she didn't fall apart. She picked herself up, started doing small online jobs, and learned to live for her son. Today, 2 years later, Ramshah is a successful freelancer. She got a divorce, and Ali is now alone. Ramshah says, "Loyalty is not a weakness, it's the mark of the brave." 2 years had passed. Ramshah was no longer the same woman. A stronger version of herself had emerged. Waking up early to prepare her son for school, then opening her laptop to work on freelance projects, and spending evenings in the park with her son, this had become her world. Her face still had the same softness, but her eyes now carried dignity and calm. One day, out of the blue, she received a call from Ali. She was surprised, hesitated for a moment, then answered. "Ramshah, how are you?" Ali's voice was soft, but broken. "I'm fine. What about you?" she replied briefly. I'm alone now. Zara left me too. Life feels so difficult. I miss our son." Ramshah took a deep breath. A wave of emotion rose inside her, but she remained firm. Missing someone isn't wrong. But every memory has a price. You didn't choose us, you left us. What you have now, is what you chose, loneliness. Ali was silent. Maybe he realized the door back had already closed. Ramshah ended the call, hugged her son close, and looked up at the sky. "Life knocked me down, but I never surrendered." Months later. One day, unexpectedly, Ali showed up at Ramshah's doorstep. The doorbell rang. Ramshah peeked through the window. It was Ali. He was holding a toy and a small bag. She opened the door, her expression a mix of surprise and firmness. "Ramshah, I just came to see my son, please," he said. Ramshah looked toward her son, who was playing with his toys. Then she sighed. "Okay. But only your son. There's no place for you in my home or my heart anymore." Ali stepped inside. The moment he saw his son, his eyes filled with tears. The child hesitated, but went to him after Ramshah's reassuring nod. "Daddy?" the boy asked innocently. That one word pierced Ali's heart. After all this time, that bond was reborn in a single word. A few minutes passed. Then Ramshah spoke firmly, "Time's up. You should go now." Ali kissed his son quietly, gave him the toy, and walked to the door. Before leaving, he turned around and said, "Ramshah, if you ever want my apology, I'll be waiting, for the rest of my life. Ram Shah replied calmly, I don't need your apology. I've already forgiven myself. That's where I found peace. A few days later, Ram Shah posted on social media. Pain taught me not to trust blindly, and hardships taught me that self-respect is the greatest strength. Her post went viral. Thousands liked it, and hundreds shared their own stories of pain and resilience in the comments. Ram Shah was no longer just a mother, she had become a symbol. A movement, for women who are betrayed but don't fall apart. They rise, and they shine brighter. Ram Shah's organization, Nayi Subah, A New Dawn, continued to grow. She had started it with a small team and a big dream, to support women who had been betrayed, abandoned, or emotionally shattered. Her story had already touched thousands, and now she was helping others write their own. One day, while conducting a workshop on emotional resilience, a young woman named Ariba hesitantly raised her hand during the Q&A session. I just want to know, how do you forgive someone who broke you beyond repair? Ram Shah walked toward her, looked her gently in the eye, and said. You don't forgive them for them. You forgive them for yourself. Because holding on to pain keeps you chained. But letting go, sets you free. Tears welled up in Ariba's eyes. That day, she decided to walk away from a toxic marriage she had been trapped in for years. Meanwhile, Ali's life had taken a different turn. Alone, guilt-ridden, and burdened with regrets, he had started therapy. He no longer chased people or pleasures, he chased peace. He followed Ram Shah's journey from afar, her interviews, her growth, and the happiness on their son's face when he appeared in school events or family photos Ram Shah occasionally shared. One day, he wrote a letter to Ram Shah. Dear Ram Shah, I won't ask for anything. Not forgiveness. Not a second chance. I just want to say, thank you. Thank you for raising our son into the kind of human I always wished I could be. Thank you for becoming the woman I was too blind to see back then. And thank you, for surviving me. Ali. Ram Shah read the letter in silence. She didn't cry. Not anymore. Pain didn't break her now, it reminded her how far she had come. 2 years later. Ram Shah's son, Ryan, had grown into a confident teenager. He often volunteered at Nayi Subah, helping distribute food, arranging books, or teaching younger kids basic computer skills. One evening, after a long day at the center, he asked Ram Shah. Ami, why didn't you ever marry again? Ram Shah smiled and said. Because I didn't need someone to complete me. I needed to become whole on my own first. And you, my purpose, you were enough. Ryan hugged her tightly. When I grow up, I want to be like you. No, she said, holding him close. You'll be better. Closing scene. Ram Shah was invited to speak at an international women's conference. As she stood on stage, a packed audience listening, she began. Years ago, I was a wife who was betrayed. Today, I'm a woman who chose to rise, not because I had no fear, but because I had no other choice. And to every woman listening, your story isn't over. Sometimes, the chapter you think is the end, is only the beginning. Thunderous applause echoed across the hall. Somewhere in the back row, a woman silently wiped her tears and whispered, because of her. I won't give up.